Welcome traders to another weekly outlook here with FX Big Dog, and we're going to go ahead and take a look and see how the markets are setting up. We've also got a bunch of fundamentals we have to take a look at as well and see how that's going to affect the technicals this week. With that being said, traders, I'll see you right after this. All right, traders, well, welcome back with another Forex Weekly Outlook. We can go ahead and check out the calendar first, see what news is coming out, and then go ahead and check out the technical analysis to see what the overall direction is so that we make sure that we pick up the right directional bias this week, whether you're scalping, swing trading, or intraday trading. Let's go take a look at the setup right here. And I'm looking at the calendar, and so far we have, let's see here, we have Bank of Japan Outlook report, and of course the monetary policy statement that is tentative right now. That should actually come out. That normally comes out early morning. I'm surprised it's not out already. All right, so that's still waiting to be released right here. We've got no Tuesday data, but on Wednesday we've got some data that we need to pay attention to. We've got the Bank of Canada rate statement and the overnight rate that's taking place at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. You need to go ahead and pay attention to that. We'll take a look at the technicals based on the Canadian dollar and also US oil. We've got the Bank of Canada press conference that's taking place right after that, about an hour and a half after that data is released. Then we've got the Aussie data, employment change and unemployment rate. This is certainly going to be a big price mover. We've seen the markets moving very strongly due to the trade agreement out in the US and China, and we've seen Aussie really take advantage of this positive news. And we'll see how this data goes ahead and affects the market. You can see that we're looking for a downturn in the actual employment change from 39 point. Well, that's the forecast. The previous number. The previous number is 39.9. The forecast is expected to drop down to 11,200. And if we take a look at the employment rate, that seems to be consistent at 5.2%. I would like to see that's slightly lower. Then, of course, on Thursday, we've got some ECB press conference out in Europe. We've got New Zealand CPI. This is going to be an important data report right here as we look for the CPI to show positive. Right now, the forecast is projected at 0.4% from the 0.7% previous. That's not going to be good for the New Zealand dollar. If we go ahead and take a look on Friday, Friday seems like we're going to be closing off with a bit of data, but not to affect the markets too much as we go into the weekend. All right, now with that being said, let's jump into the technical analysis. And we're going to go ahead and take a look and see how that's set up. Let's start off on the top right here. I'm going to go to start off the Aussie CAD right here. And I'm looking at the daily time frame to give us some sort of directional bias. Looks like we had a slight gap over the weekend. Price moved up a little bit, but then moved back down again. So we are seeing a little bit of a correction move, especially off that resistance here. We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. We saw the resistance. We saw price moving back down. But also we said that price could be just retracing, but then moving back up a little higher to get up to the top of the range. So this could be just a correction move before price moves back up again. So I would say that we're probably going to find a lot of support this week at the retracement level. And then maybe not this week, maybe towards the end of the week, we're going to start seeing a turnaround to the upside. Now, this is a Canadian cross right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at US oil before we go ahead and check out any other information on this pair. And if you take a look at US oil is in a retracement move. So stronger US oil, that means that the Aussie Canadian should be heading south a little bit before hitting support and then actually working its way back up north again. So we'll be expecting US dollar to move north, as well as we will be expecting the Aussie CAD to move south temporarily, just in the short term, and then start working its way back up. So like I said, look for Aussie to find support, the Aussie CAD to find support, and then go ahead and start working its way back up north. Let's go back to the Aussie crosses right here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Aussie Swiss franc. Aussie Swiss franc is also range bound right here. We have found support. We'll be expecting Aussie Swiss to also work its way back up north. Now, we did see that there was some data out here for the Aussies, the employment change and unemployment rate. Now, if that number is positive, then we should see Aussie moving north. If it's negative, we may see breakout of ranges. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens over here. If I go ahead and compress the charts a little bit more, I do see that we do have a downward trend line. That's taken back, or at least a downward trend. And price is in the middle of the trend right here. So the only thing I could think about right here is that if we don't stay inside consolidation, they'll be heading back down towards the support level down here. And that's priced at around about, as you can see right here, we've got 0.6498. So that's the next support level the market's going to try and drop back down to. And it looks like very strong support down there. You see a low there. And let me go ahead and point it out. Here we have a very significant low. We have a very significant low there. So very strong support right here. If price does want to go ahead and test it before pushing back up to the channel line at the top here. We'll keep an eye open for that. Aussie JPY. And Aussie JPY is not loading up. Let's go ahead and pull up another report here. I'm going to go back to that. So while we're busy loading that, typically what we're going to be looking for is if we see pairs that are similarly lined up, in the sense that they either indicating bullish momentum for the week or bearish momentum for the week, we will then definitely go ahead and pay attention to those details. So let's go back to the Aussie JPY right here. Here you can see that we did come back to retest this previous resistance, now becoming support. We have an upward trend line right here that's also going to be acting as support. Definitely was there was a gap this week on the Aussie cross. It looks like we had the exact same move on the Aussie Canadian dollar. Slight bit of breakout over here, and man, this is not what we'd like to see, but it is what it is. So a little gap here. Market's gone ahead and tested that gap. Let me go and take a look at the lower time frame. And here is the lower time frame. And we can see this was the gap that we spoke about over the weekend. This will be the let's see what candle this is. Okay, let's see here. Let me try that again. So this is the. All right, so let me take a look at the candle here. And this is the start of the week right here. This was the gap down. Looks like it opened up here. This is the gap down right here, and then this is where it closed out on Friday. This is where it's opened up on Friday right here. So it opened up with a jump. I'm going to go ahead and measure this. Well, it's not a big jump. It's 25 pips on the Aussie JPY. Not a big jump. So, and price has gone ahead and actually closed up the gap. And now we're going to see if price is going to continue working its way back up north. Let's take a look at the, with this little gap right here, we're expecting price to continue to work its way up to the upside right here. We're looking for price to actually go to around about 77.10. So look again, it looks like across the board, Aussies are looking for support to go ahead and move up. Now my thought here is, if that's going to be the case, then on Wednesday, I'm saying that we could possibly see some positive data. Maybe the news, even if the data comes out negative, we may end up seeing Aussie still starting to move bullish due to the fact that trade agreement phase 1 was that positive. So it is very possible that that could be our support level going back up again. As long as we're trading above this channel line, I'm going to be thinking bullish and looking for support at this support level right here. Let's go to Aussie New Zealand dollar. Very similar right here. Aussie New Zealand dollar finding support right here. We'll be looking for price to move all the way to the top of the channel. So we'll be looking to buy long and stay bullish on Aussie New Zealand dollar. Definitely as we continue to hold up this at the support right here, we're looking for price to move all the way up here to the top, which is a pretty good deal because we're looking around about 900 pips to the upside. So Aussie New Zealand dollar remains bullish for the week. My opinion would be buying on dips, keeping it long. Let's go take a look at Aussie US dollar. Same thing right here. We've got a nice little channel line right here. Price came back to support that channel line. We haven't broken through that. As long as we are staying, and I guess I can move this down a little bit down here. As long as we're staying above, and I'm going to make an adjustment here. Something like this. There we go. So as long as you stand above that channel line, I'm going to think bullish. There we go. Do something like this. All right, thinking bullish. So price could move a little bit lower down here on Aussie US dollar and then turn around and head back up north. Now let's take a look at the dollar index while we're on the dollar cross right here. Well, dollar had a nice little move over last week. We had a little bit of still some bullish movement right here, but we are looking for price to move back down. I can see a nice little, it looks like a cipher pattern right here, working its way on the daily time frame. We should be seeing price work its way back down south, and then come back on what we're calling our B retracement before market price is going to start working its way back up north here. So this seems like a good deal. I did believe we broke through the channel. So we'll be coming back to retest the backside of the channel as price goes ahead and works its way back up a little higher. So we're expecting a little bit of weakness in the dollar, then going ahead and getting pushing up a little stronger. But at that point, traders, we still think overall dollar should be heading south. So we're in a little bit of a correction move at the moment right now with this particular with the dollar index. But we do see dollar index overall, and it may be towards the mid part of this year, we'll see dollar actually starting to fall deeper down south. So that's the dollar index. So that means that if we do go back to the Aussie US dollar right here, we'll be expecting a little bit of strength out of the Aussie due to dollar weakness. Dollar weakness. So dollar weakness will create some strength in the Aussie US dollar pair, and so we'll be expecting again same thing like we saw with all the Aussie crosses. All the Aussie crosses seem to be looking for that support to push up a little bit higher. Now I do realize that we did come into this range again, so it'll be very important for us to go ahead and break out at the top of the range right here as it starts going ahead and chasing after its top of channel. So I'm going to say stay bullish on the Aussie US dollar. This is just a correction move. And moving on to the Canadian Swiss. Canadian Swiss also, I believe, a no-brainer on this one right here. Also, seen a bit of range-bound trading. Market came off the support. We'll be looking for price to move back up to the top of the channel. If it does break out to the south side of this range, then we'll be heading back down to the bottom of the channel right here. But looks like we'll be seeing some upside movement in Canadian Swiss franc. Now, what did we say overall? We said we might see a little strong US oil, but then go ahead and overall move bearish. So yeah, expect some stronger US oil pushing Canadian also bullish for right now, but then turn around and head back down south. So this may be a short-term rally before we go ahead and look for that long-term dip down here. Let's go to Canadian JPY. Canadian JPY, once again, getting up to the top of the range right here. We'll be looking for resistance, so slight bit of bullishness for the Canadian. And then as we get to the top right here, we certainly will be looking for a downside move in Canadian as we start seeing US oil starting to dip as well. So right now, still again short-term bullish. So I would say towards the middle of the week, we should continue to be bullish until the mid part of the week, maybe on Thursday, starting to see a turnaround to the downside as we hit resistance. I'm going to wait for this top range right here to be tested and then head south. I don't see any. Oh, well, look at that. Wednesday. We do have the overnight rate coming out and expected to keep unchanged at 1.75%. That could be a positive. In fact, in most cases, it seems to be a positive reaction to the market when they keep the rates unchanged. I think everything might come back down to the press conference and what is said in the statement, and depending on that, we'll then go ahead and see the market react. But again, a little bit of bullishness will not be too unwelcomed before the market goes ahead and moves back down south. So I'm going to say bullish on CAD JPY until at least Wednesday. We'll see what happens with the news on Wednesday. Canadian, or Swiss JPY traders, we are at the top of that range right here. Take a look here. Oh, my bad. We're actually not at the top of the range. We're heading to the top of the range. So we're looking for this type of reaction. We're at the top of the channel. I guess that's what I was going to say there. All right, so we're at the top of the channel. We're expecting price to move down. So I'm going to say Swiss JPY, look to sell Swiss JPY towards the bottom of the channel. Right, so this week is going to be bearish on Swiss JPY. So for my traders that are in my trading room, they're going to be looking to look for a bearish signals going south, chasing after the bottom of the channel right here. So looking bearish on the Swiss JPY. Let's go to Euro Aussie. All right, Euro Aussie. We're range bound on Euro Aussie, and we're actually in the middle of the range right here. If you haven't started buying at the bottom right here, then best stay aside. I know that price did come back to about shy of the top of the range right here. We are finding a bit of resistance here. So this is a place that I would say that traders should stay out of the way. Don't get involved in a pair that's in the middle of the range. We've hit the top and the bottom. We're trading in the middle. So stay out of the market. Unless we're at the top or the bottom, go ahead and participate. But if the market's going to be hitting the top of the channel and the bottom of the channel, and you come to you come to the trading table and you find this pair range bound and trading in the middle of the range, it's best to go ahead and stand aside and wait for price to get to the top or the bottom of the range again. So I'm going to say stand aside on Euro Aussie this week. And we'll see what happens over the next few days. Euro Canadian dollar. See what we've got going here. We've just recently come off the top of the range. We're actually a seller in the market, but we are cautioned because of the support down here. So for those sellers that are in the market, they're holding short at the moment right now, but still watching this support down here, priced at around about 1.4459. Check out for that support if you are holding short on the Euro CAD. Let's go to Euro Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc, we nicely bound down here. In fact, take a look at this. We've got a third wave extension that's also hit here, which is the 1.618 of the previous AB move. And we're coming back down to this channel line right here. Now, traders, I would be thinking, look for a short-term retracement on this pair. We're at support. Look to start buying on Euro Swiss franc. Let's go to Euro Pound. Euro Pound is broken. Look, the one thing we can take from this is that we do have support here on the Euro Pound. And so therefore we're expecting price to move up to the top of the range, considering of course it stays inside this range. Now we'll look for price to move to the top side. We have broken slightly through this downward trend line, and it did test with an indecision candle right here, but it's not very decisive, is it? So we are seeing also, if I actually go ahead and take a look at this right here, I'm also seeing a little bit of a range here as well. So this pair is actually range bound a little bit too. So it's in a large range, in a tight range right here. Not a big fan of the Euro Pound, But if you're going to be looking to do anything, I would be looking to buy long towards the top of the channel right here. So any dip in, all right, if it comes back to the support of this channel, look to buy long. Now, it means that we're inside. If we see this right here, we see this bit of consolidation right here, what we are thinking is that price is currently right now in contraction. So there's a very good chance that we're going to head out of this like something like this, maybe do something like that, head up north. Some sort of expansion pattern will appear. Normally what happens is on the expansion patterns, if price is expected to go north, we may see a false breakout to the top side, false breakout to the bottom side, and then the price is going to then go ahead and trend. So the expansion phase looks like we may get the false breakout to the upside. So a lot of retail traders may get caught up in this false breakout right here, thinking that price is going to continue. So watch out for a possible false break. Then I would look for price to break out lower and then buy in a little bit lower than rather than trying to buy it on a breakout on the upside. So be careful on that. Sometimes it can pull you into something that you may not want to be in. All right, that is Euro Pound. Let's go to Euro JPY. Now, Euro JPY is right there at the top. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned that we've seen a lot of resistance there at the top. And with the resistance at the top, we're expecting price to go ahead and start working its way back down south, which it has done. So that resistance is certainly holding, and we've closed off with a nice little bearish candle. In fact, we can say it's a bearish engulfing, although it engulfed a very small portion of the previous candles. We can see price certainly indicating that it's looking to recover. Now, we could say that this is a range right here, and that price may want to come back down. But I see this upward trend line that's going to act as support. So we're going to probably get down to this trend line right here. I don't believe we're going to get down there. I think we can still see the price move back up again. We're looking for around about 124 and change. But this week may be a bearish week as we look for support. So bearish week on Euro JPY as we look for support for price to go ahead and work his way back up north. Right, that's Euro JPY. Take a look at Euro New Zealand dollar. Euro New Zealand dollar has got this tight range here, but very importantly, it did come back. You know what? Let me see here. Something larger. All right. So what's important to note here is that we've got this channel, bullish channel right here, and we traded just below it. We've come back to retest it. So we're actually thinking bearish on Euro New Zealand dollar. All right. So although it broke through this downward channel right here, we're looking for price to eventually break out of this. If it breaks below this, we're thinking bearish. So it's actually at the moment right now, I would say it is in the middle of the road right now. We could stand aside on this, wait for something a little bit more confirmed towards the mid part of this week. But at the moment right now, these other pairs that are sitting up so much better that we need to pay attention to. I would not pay attention to the Euro New Zealand dollar this week too much until we get a breakout of this support. So if we get a breakout of that support, see here. Yeah, if we get a breakout of that support, then maybe then I would start paying a little bit more attention to this. Yeah. Let's take a look at the Euro US dollar. All right, so Euro US dollar is broken through, but we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, and we noticed that we had this upward channel, and we've got two upward channels. We've got this short-term upward channel, and then we've got this long-term upward channel. And we said as price broke through that short-term upward channel, we said it's going to come back down to this support of the long-term channel. So right now, I would say the Euro US dollar is also just temporarily looking for support before going ahead and working its way back up north as well. So this week looks like the first couple of days of the week, I think up until the mid part of the week, it's really going to be confirmation. All right, looking for confirmation of a support level, and once we get the confirmation of the support level, then we'll go ahead and start thinking about price moving up. So we may not even get an opportunity to be able to trade this week. And that's the thing that we need to realize. We need to be a little bit more patient with these setups, because these setups are not really quite giving us an opportunity right now. But as the week goes on, as price goes in and finds support, gets a good confirmation, then goes ahead and gives us the confirmation rally, then probably only next week the opportunities are going to come. Right now, a lot of traders might be caught up in that whipsaw or that process of confirming the support before actually giving us the confirmation to now start looking to buy long. I would stay on the sideline on that until I get proper confirmation. Again, we do have some ECB data coming out this week. ECB press conference is out on Thursday with the monetary policy statement too. Also, we have the rate decision. They expect to keep the rates unchanged on Thursday. I actually missed that out earlier today. So yeah, that is definitely something's taking place. They're keeping the rates unchanged. So it's it's like I said, I would think that this week for this particular pair, stay on the sideline. And let's go ahead and take a look at the pound Aussie. Pound Aussie right here also found a nice support right here. I like it. I like the fact that we found support right here, looking for price to work its way back up north. Right, so I'm expecting Pound Aussie to continue to move bullish. So I'm looking bullish on Pound Aussie. Now, once again, a reminder to those traders that have just followed me for the first time. What we're looking for right here, we're looking for patterns to appear. And when we talk about the channels, and we see that price is at a support level, as soon as price hits support or as soon as price hits resistance, we're going to go ahead and start deploying our trading systems in that direction. And our trading systems have all the confirmation that we need, all right, before it starts entering buys or sells. And that's what it is. So I'm not saying let's just jump in right now. I'm saying let's start deploying. So what does that mean? It means traders, we're starting to prepare for the possibilities of price moving higher. That's what we're looking at, all right? All right, so Pound Aussie, looking for a rally on Pound Aussie. Could that mean weaker Aussie or stronger Pound? Well, let's take a look at the other Pound crosses. Yes, Pound Canadian. Seen a little bit of rally over the last 12 hours. Seen a little bit of rally. I'm still a buyer in Pound CAD. Despite the fact that we traded below here, I'm still expecting price to move up and move back inside this channel. So maybe this week I'm not a buyer. Maybe this week I'm on the sideline as I'm waiting for price to move back in. And the reason why I trade is this is something that you have to realize. We don't have to be greedy on this, because if it takes price 150, 200 pips to go ahead and confirm bullish and move back inside my channel, then take a look right here. I've got around about another 600-700 pips that I can grab from this move. So I can wait and be patient for this 160 pip move to confirm what I want to get confirmed. So if price is going to move inside that area and it keep bouncing back and forth and not give the confirmation, at least I'm not going to get caught up in that noise. And I'm going to wait for the confirmation, then go ahead and start trading it. So keep your eye on this right here as price looks to work its way back up north. And I'm going to look on the Aussie. Let's take a look here. This is Pound JPY. Same thing. Still bullish on this. Despite that bearish U-turn right here, maybe price is going to move back a little lower just to find a bit of support. But as long as staying inside this upward channel, I'm expecting price to move up. So I'm still thinking bullish on this, and maybe we can go down to a lower time frame and pick up some short-term trading opportunities as they appear. Let me go ahead and take a look and see what we do have from a short term. So right now, short term we're seeing bearish right now, but we may end up getting over the next couple of hours maybe a short-term bullish opportunity that could take us a little higher. So trading opportunities could come along very soon on this particular pair. Let's go ahead and take a look at, skip a few right here. This is Pound New Zealand dollar. Also seeing a little bit of strength coming in. I wouldn't be anything at the moment right now. I don't think so. Let me see here. Actually, I just remembered that we actually spoke bullish about this. Yep, I'm bullish on pound New Zealand dollar. Now, although we're in a downward channel, we did hit support here. All right, so we're in a downward channel, hit support here, and now we're moving into an upward channel, and we just come off support right here. So in the short term, I would be looking to buy on this particular pair, buy long on pound New Zealand dollar. All right, look for buying opportunities. If I go to the 1 hour time frame, let's see what we've got going here. Yeah, we're getting some confirmation here that price is looking to move back up north. Now, I get it. I see it. I'm not oblivious to this, but I do see this range right here. Let's pull it up here. So tops, bottoms, and so we are consolidated right here. And in fact, there's a larger bit of consolidation right here as well. So we did come off the support here, looking for price to move up. So there's a bit of price movement that we can expect going up, and that looks like about 200 pips. So we can pick up at least some short-term trading, 200 pips in the taking here before we hit a bit of resistance at the top. Right, so definitely if we're going to do anything this week, it's going to be short-term in the meantime while we get the confirmation we need on the larger time frame. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at I'm going to go to Canadian. And that's the biggest mistake that a lot of traders are experiencing, right? A lot of traders are experiencing the same scenario where they're looking for trading opportunities on and they see a larger time frame confirming that the direction's right, but then what they do is they go ahead and trade with a long-term outlook with stops and limits. What does that mean? Well, it means that they stopped maybe about 200 pips wide and look for a 600 pip target. But what the market is really only offering is maybe only a 200 pip target. So if you're gonna go ahead and say, well, big dog, I like to keep my stops really away from the market to allow any sort of noise to not take me out of my stop. But at the same time, what you're doing is you're placing so wide of a stop that the profit target is so far away that your risk reward ratio is only going to be a 1 to 1 risk reward ratio. So if you tighten up the stop a little bit, it will give you a little bit more risk reward ratio. I know that the risk is going to be a little more on the risky side just because you tighten your stop loss up a little bit. But still, through all of that, all right, your risk reward, when you tighten up your stops, your risk reward ratio goes from 1 to 1 to 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. That means you can take a couple of hits before the market actually takes off and still make some good solid profit. All right. And if you get lucky and it moves the first time and you get your 1 to 4 risk reward ratio, that's a great trading opportunity right there. All right. So yes, bullish on pound New Zealand dollar. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few things here. I'm going to go to pound US dollar. And pound US dollar finding support right here. Thinking bullish at the moment right now. A lot of support coming off this level right here. So I'm still thinking bullish. Remember, traders, you might be saying, well, big dog, don't you think it's time to start thinking sell? And the answer to that is no. Look, yeah, I'm very, very strict when it comes to trading these channels. And again, let me just emphasize, if the market goes to the top of the channel, I'm selling straight away. Now, not literally putting in a sell order, but I'm starting to deploy my systems bearish. Now, if it hits that support channel, I'm straight away going to go ahead and start deploying my system once again bullish. All right. And so if I don't see a clean break of those channels and the market does break slightly through the channels, I'm still going to be a bullish trader. Or I might just say I'm going to stand aside right now and wait for better confirmation. But I'm not going to go ahead and start thinking about selling. And the reason why I'm not going to do that, because this could be a fake breakout and maybe just an adjustment to the actual trend. It's very important that you know that, because a lot of traders get caught up in that breakout thinking that it's a breakout, but it's a fake out, right? There's a difference between the two, right? So be careful of the fake outs and do not just trade the breakout on the first break, because that could be what we're referring to as the fake out, all right? So yeah, fake news. All right. All right. Sorry for that punt. Anyway, here we go. So the pound US dollar right here is still looking for bullish. Now I could say, if traders don't want to say, well, big dog, if I can get an indecision candle today, maybe then I'll go ahead and start looking to buy long. That's up to you. If that's what you need, if that's the confirmation you need, then so be it. All right. Okay, so let's go to a couple of Canadian crosses, and then I'm going to go ahead and close off for today. So here's the New Zealand CAD right here. And if I pull up the New Zealand CAD, we can see that price is definitely broken below that channel. But this is the deal. We got this large consolidation. With this large consolidation, we're looking for price to actually go ahead and move to the top of the channel, but because of the short term or this small channel that we have right here, we're expecting price to go ahead and just correct itself a little bit. Now let's go back to the dollar, to US oil. We said that US oil, and I'm going to go ahead and show you just to remind you again. Let's pull it up. We said that US oil is going to strengthen, right? Just short term. Short term strength in US oil. Then turn around and head back down south. If that's the case, let's go back to the New Zealand CAD. So a little strength in US oil would mean what? It would mean price is going to push lower down. Okay? So a little bit of strength in US oil will push New Zealand CAD bearish. So traders wait for the dip. When the dip appears, we may chase after these the support low right here. And that's priced at 0.8505. So when we get down to this level, which is about 100 and call it 120 pips down, then start looking to buy long. All right, because remember, traders, the market moves in phases. All right, and when we move in phases, and the phases are contraction, expansion, and trend. So when we move in these phases, we have to realize when market moves into a trend phase, there is still a 5-wave sequence and then an ABCD correction. So we have to then go ahead and identify where are we with inside that 5-wave sequence, and are we in that correction move in the ABC. And at the moment right now, we've completed the 5th wave going up. Now we look for a correction move, and all that means is price is starting to reposition itself to then go ahead and continue to push higher. That's what it's trying to do right here. All right. So a dip, then a rally on New Zealand CAD. And then US dollar Canadian right here. This one is torn between two strong pairs because we're looking for dollar and we're looking for US oil to somewhat recover, right? So let's take a look again at dollar index just so you can get a good idea of what's going on right here. Dollar index is actually on a recovery, but it may lose a little bit of weight before gaining. So if it goes ahead and dips south, then rallies up. If this dip takes place, we're getting weaker US dollar, and we spoke about stronger US oil. So weak US dollar, strong US oil will then mean that the US dollar CAD would do what? It would go ahead and work its way down south. So this is range bound right now. All right, take a look here. We've come off, we haven't quite hit that support level, so we could see the market drop down a little further down south. So I'm not expecting price to move back up again, but what I do expect is at least a short-term recovery. So this is what I'm expecting on US dollar CAD. Expecting price to dip down south, then start working its way back up. This dip right here would be caused based on US dollar weakness and US oil strength. But again, it's going to be short term. I don't believe we're going to take out the lows right here. It's going to be short term, maybe a 618 recovery, and then start working his way back up north. Now, I'm in on the US dollar long on one of my trading accounts, which means traders, I've got to go ahead and wait for price to move down, find support again, and then start buying in again when we hit support. So I've got to be patient on this, allow the market to do what it needs to do, get the recovery we need in both US oil and dollar, and then start taking action once support has been found and we're starting to hit back up north again. So that's a good indication of how to be able to identify, how the different currency pairs are correlated with the different charts that we just reviewed today, which is dollar index and US oil, specifically US dollar Canadian. It's definitely going to be affected by those movements. Well, that is it, traders. Listen here, we are got exciting things happening this week. We got quite a bit of data coming out this week that's going to affect the market. Don't forget about the Aussie data. It's going to be the employment change. Don't forget about the rate decision out of Europe. Don't forget about the Canadian rate decision coming out as well. So that's going to be a very midweek volatility as we head into the weekend. I think it's going to be a little bit slower. All right, traders. Well, you have a fantastic week of trading. Good luck with your trading, and I will see you next time. This is Epic Big Dog signing off.